Good day, fellow deal makers. Welcome to the Deal Scout. My name's Josh. I'm your host. And listen, I love deals. And I created this show because I love connecting with people and learning. I love learning about different types of deals, ranging from SPACs to lemonade stands. But also, what I need as a deal maker is I need to learn how to overcome failure, how to overcome fears, how to get my mindset right. Because where the head goes, the body goes, right? So I love hearing the stories and the journey of our guest. And the mission and purpose of this is to educate us and entertain us, but also you in the audience. If you hear a deal maker and someone come on the show and you want to connect with them, all of their contact information will be in the show notes. Connect with them and say, I heard you on the Deal Scout. Let's do a deal. All right. So let's dive in. Dr. Chau, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you so much, Josh, for having me. I'm so happy to be here today. Happy holidays, everybody, and I look forward to connect with each and everybody.
Yeah, super cool. All right, so I'm looking at for people listening in. Let me describe what I see. Dr. Chau, he's a sharp dude. He has this really awesome coat, which I want to hear the story of your sports coat. But he has pictures of him next to Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson, Richard Branson, and he made it to Two Comma Club, which is a huge accomplishment. So, kind of, Dr. Chau, give us an idea of what do you do? Who are you?
Yes, thank you so much. So, yeah, I may give a quick story about me. So I went from immigrant, came to America with absolutely nothing. With my mom, my dad, my sister, and I, we came from a third world country. So, to achieve the American dream. So when we come to America, we had to all sleep in one bed, literally, all four of us in one bed for years in like the worst neighborhood possible. Basically we'll hear gunshots when I go to school, and my mom will pray every day that we get home fine, because we didn't know any language, we didn't know any connection or anything. Is a whole new word for us, right? So imagine you starting over when you're 40s and 50s, and you bring two kids with you. I was 10, my sister was 11, and then my mom and dad had to work at like dry cleaners, day and night, 12 hours a day, imaginable, like unimagined heat, 100 plus degrees heat in the South, right? Plus the humidity, and she would cut and burn herself every single day. So, one day I saw her came home and she cooked with one hand. And I was like, Mom, are you okay? Because she would had tears come down her eyes. And she's like, yeah, I'm okay, son. And she's trying to suck it up, right? But I know something is not right because I can feel it, right? Have you ever feel that your loved one is hurting, but
Yeah,
you couldn't do anything?
yeah.
Because I was only 10 years old, so I was really helpless, right? So, but that day is, I promised myself that I will do whatever it takes to take care of my mom, my dad, repay them everything that they have done for me, and I will retire them and live the American dream. Okay, so we thought the way to get the American dream is go to school, get a good grade, become a doctor, lawyer, and that's exactly what I did. I was sold on that dream. So I became a doctor of pharmacy, and MBA after 8 years of grueling medical school, pharmacy school. And I had to sleep this time in Utah in the in the like the basement of the freezing cold. You guys ever been in Utah or Colorado, right? In the winter, it's
Yeah.
no fun. Okay, and this time I had to survive off of like ramen noodles, dollar menu, McDonald's, Little Caesar pizza, and like Walmart chicken. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope you cannot relate to that. But that's what I did for eight years, and stressed out every single day trying to make it work. And finally graduated, doctor of pharmacy, right? With the master of business as well, because I want to do it, get the MBA as well, because they told me that that's what I'm gonna get my financial freedom, my future, right? So I did the whole thing. It's like $400,000 worth of debt. Student loans. How many here got student loans, right?
Bingo.
So I was like, yeah. And when I got out, I was like, man, I'm gonna take care of my mom, my dad. Don't worry about a thing. The day I graduated, yeah, I'm gonna get you the dream house, everything, vacation, all that good stuff, right? So I worked my butt off for that first year, became a number one pharmacy of the year in my district for a Fortune 10 company, right? So I really made it. Like, wow, I can't believe this immigrant boy came from nothing, come over here, become a doctor, and actually won this award. Like, this is amazing. So I thought I was really gonna like get the financial freedom. So what I found is that they only give me the same raise that they would give everybody. It's a 2% raise, right? Couldn't even keep up with inflation. Okay. And then what they cut my hours for my help, for my tech help, because they know that I can handle it. And then they even, don't give me anything extra except more KPIs, more like you should fill prescription faster, you should do this faster, you should meet all this stuff because you can handle this. I was like, this is BS. They're not paying me more. They're not giving me more help, and they demand more. Okay. So I was like, there's something got to change here. So from then, and on top of that, my mom was diagnosed with cancer at the time. So I was like, man, I really got something out quick because I don't know how much she has. It was stage 4. So and the breaking point with me was, it was like 3 a.m. in the hospital, and she was about to go to surgery, brain surgery, and I want to stay with her. But then all I could think about was, dang it, I got to go back to work the next day, So like this is not the dream. This is not the way to live. So I try all kind of businesses, from e-commerce to Amazon to eBay to MLM, multi-level marketing, even everything basically, restaurants, Italian, like brick and mortar business, but none of it, like, because I was having a full-time job, right? And I don't take care of my mom. I don't have a lot of time. I didn't have a lot of money. So what is the business that doesn't require a lot of time, doesn't require a lot of money, that can actually get me result fast? So that's when I came up with the idea of arbitrage, which means I just sublet somebody else's property. I leverage somebody else's properties. I don't even have to own them, and sublet it out and make money from it. So that's how I was able to build a portfolio of like 23 Airbnbs at a time, and got my financial freedom within 2 years, and retired my parents. And now 12 years later, my mom is alive and well because I have the business at the time to take care of her, and fly her all over, the world, and take care of them, go on the beaches of the world like I promised them. So I'm very grateful for my life right now. Thank you.
Yeah. That's awesome, Dr. Chau. Very similar circumstances, different vehicles and different avenues, but very similar. The amount of pain that you feel when you're looking at a loved one, mom and dad. I made that promise when my dad was a badass dude, but when he cried to me about finances, I swore. I was like, I'm gonna make $1 billion and take care of mom and dad. I was 10 years old as well. It's weird how the promises we make at 10 years old. The problem is, it took me, I'm 41 now. How old are you, Dr. Chau?
I'm 37.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it took a long time, and living in the pain of not being helpless, helpless to be able to love and, support those. And I went through the school, I've got a lot of education and such like that, and I had different careers and tried out everything. How did you, instead of, like, some people are faced with that incredible amount of pain, and they break under that pain or the pressure. How did you use that to propel you forward into what you're doing?
Yes. So yeah, when we face, that's a lot of mindset issue. I love that question, by the way, because 80% success in mindset. One of my mentors, also Tony Robbins. I'm actually Tony Robbins platinum partner. I'm here learning with him right now, actually. So basically, when we're facing with pressure is great diamonds, right? So it's the fight or flight mentality. So three things you want to look for, three things you want to focus on is your focus, your state, and your physiology. Okay, and your story too. So basically, you got to be in a good state. You got to really take care of yourself, right? With diet, exercise, water, sleep, love yourself, all of that. So your state is the most important thing, because when you're in the right state, in a good state, everything you do is positive, right? If you're in a negative state, everything you do is going to be negative result. Okay. And then your physiology, what I mean by that is your posture, when you stand, when you talk, how you carry yourself is super important. It will affect your state. And then your story, what kind of story you keep telling yourself. You want to break that pattern. Don't be a victim. You can be a victim or a victor. It's your choice, but you cannot be both. Okay. So you got to be able to just decide, commit first. And then what I learned from Grant Cardone, hanging out with him, is number one, commit first, right? And then number two, do whatever it takes. Okay. And number three is until it works. Consistent, consistent, predict, consistent, just persistent. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you are, it's got to be commit, right? And then you got to work on yourself all the time and all of that. So it's definitely a lot of things going here, but I want you guys to focus on what is your state every single day, what's your physiology, right? And what is the story you keep telling yourself. You want to interrupt the pattern, the oh poor me, that pattern. So no, I'm gonna figure this shit out. The bigger the pressure, the better, because I'm gonna be the best diamond out there, the most shiny diamond, and I'm gonna just explode. So
Mm.
welcome the challenges, welcome the problems, because there's no problem, just challenges, right?
Mhm.
Just things that we can learn and grow from.
Yeah. I've buckled under pressure before, right?
Yes.
I found myself standing on a bridge thinking of diving, doing a swan dive off because of the pressure. I felt like a failure. I cashed out my government pension and I went all in on a business idea and I lost all my money. We had a new baby and I'm under pressure and I thought about killing myself, and I didn't, thank God I didn't because I have a beautiful family. But, like under the pressure of that is tough and it does create some diamonds, but man, the diamonds take a long time to go. So if we went back in time, you're 10 years old, your family moved over here, you didn't speak English, you have a family of four sleeping in a single bed, mom and dad are out there working their ass off for you guys. And if I asked your mom and dad a piece of advice on that time, if we went back and we asked them, we said, mom and dad, Dr. Chow's mom and dad, what advice do you have for future parents, for future dreamers, for future visionaries? Because you're raising up a king who's going to do some incredible stuff. What advice do you have for keeping it all together and making it through the tough times? What advice would your parents give me?
Yes. Great question, man. Yeah, and I feel for you, brother, for sure. Seriously, yeah, because there was I was depressed in during all like growing up as well in high school, like adjusting to the new world and everything. And there was some suicidal thoughts I had before too. So I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Uh, Definitely. As far as the question for what advice they would give you, I believe it's gonna be coming along something along the line of you would do more for your loved one than you would do for yourself.
Yeah.
So where focus goes, energy flows, right? So you want to focus on your loved ones instead of just you. Because the moment that the reason why we have suicidal thoughts, all of that is because we're focusing on ourselves. And there's two primary questions at any people is, am I enough? And am I loved? Right? And if we don't feel love and we don't feel that we're enough, and that's when everything starts spiraling down. But when we take the focus off of ourselves, we put it on other individuals that we love dear to our heart, and that we want the better lives, to the better moments with them,
Yeah.
then we will do whatever it takes, 10 times more, 100 times more than we know that we are capable of, because our love, our why is strong enough.
Hmm.
Right. It's never the what. It's always the why. What is your why? It's not just the surface why, guys. You want to go 7 level deep on your why. Why do you want that house? Why do you want that income? Why is that important for you? Why is that important for you? Take care of your mom and dad. Why is that important for you? So they can have a dream life. Why is that important for you? Because I want to raise my kids. Why is that important for you? Leave a legacy. All of that, right? So you want to really dig deeper into yourself, and that's the self work that everybody hate because
Yeah.
right, nobody enjoy that, but that
Yeah.
is the most important work.
Yeah. So good, man. It's so true. This imposter syndrome. Am I enough? I'll tell you, I've interviewed 1,000 people, over 1,000 people, and this imposter syndrome, this self doubt, this thing of am I enough? This little voice inside the head has stopped a lot of people from accomplishing some massive shit. It's this thing that cripples people. They get paralysis analysis, or analysis paralysis. They get fear, they stop, or they fall short 3 feet from gold, right? Like they're almost there, but like this internal thing of am I enough, am I loved is so hard. So when it comes to am I enough, Like how do you suggest, because you now coach people, right? And you help people go through this process. And someone has to come up and like these are some things that you as a coach have to
Mhm.
help people overcome on this thing
Yes,
of am I enough and am I loved? Those are the two main drivers, right? And then
right.
what's the deep seven-seated why in this? How do you
Yeah.
help people come over this like am I enough question?
Yes. So asking the right questions, right? It's all about the questions. So the question, am I enough, is one of the worst question ever, right? Right. And we all ask it because, whatever reason, but the better question should be, you know, is this dream enough for me? Is this dream worthy of me? Is what I'm pursuing worthy of me? Because I believe personally, I believe we are all sons and daughters of God, right? uh, and don't you want because my heavenly father, our heavenly father has everything in the universe. Look at the abundance of the universe, right?
Yeah.
You have a kid, don't you want your son, your daughter to have everything that you have and even more,
Yeah.
right? So if our heavenly father has everything has ever created, all the gold, everything, what's what's $1 billion to them, like to him, like nothing, you know. So we are already have the abundance, we already have royalty in our blood, we already have the kingdoms, right? you know Not to rule over but to serve. Okay. However, we got to really believe that deep down in our heart. So when you believe deep down you are the son, you are the prince, you are the princesses, you are worthy of it, then the question is different. So you want to change your primary question. Everybody have a primary question. It's super important. My used to be, what is it? Uh, how can I achieve more, or how can I prove myself? Okay,
Mhm.
worst question, very bad question. I reframe that now to how can I love? How can I serve? How can I appreciate even more what's the amazing man that I am and the amazing life that I am living?
Yeah.
So you got to reframe that and ask yourself, what do you want? And also know that you deserve it so that you can ask that question. Don't ask it again. Just keep on writing down all the questions that you can ask to come up with better results, coming from a place of abundance, coming from a place of peace, coming from a place of love, coming from a place of knowing that you already have everything inside of you. You just got to discover that for you, for yourself, and then bring that out and shine and help other people.
Yeah. You have such a cool story, but you've got this like incredible energy to you. You've got this incredible like peace about you. Yeah, you're welcome. As you are building out, right? Talk to us about some of the things that you've accomplished, right? You've retired both your parents.
Mhm.
Are you still practicing pharmacy? Like, give us an idea of what have you accomplished as of 2022 in December.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm very grateful I'm able to retire. Both my parents bought them the dream home, right? It's a fantastic home, traveled around and worked with them, and retired myself too 4 years ago at the early age of 33, old age of 33, I guess. And able to learn from my mentors, the Richard Branson, the Grant Cardone, the Tony Robbins, the Russell Brunsons, that I dream of just sitting at their feet someday. And now I can actually call them as friends, and we can actually like play chess together and hang out on the yacht and all that, right? So, but more importantly, my most best accomplishment would be I was able to help a lot more people. So I have 250,000 followers. Thank you, you guys following me. And more importantly, I have like hundreds of students that I coach and train, and I have helped many people to get financial freedom. So like the stay-at-home moms who's making six-figure now, right? Who's working like a full-time job, but now she's just be able to travel around the world. She's actually in Vietnam right now, hanging out with her family, okay, making like 20K a month, right? Because she can, right? Versus like slaving away she was like a corporate job thing and just stressed out all the time, and she's only in her 30s. So the life is going to be amazing for her from now on, right? Or the truck driver who never see his family and now make 6-figure income now. So now he has the time, the freedom to do whatever you want to do, to really spend time with the family. Okay. So those are the stories that get me up and work, 12 plus hours a day when I don't really have to. Right. But after a while, it's like, what's the meaning of life? Why, you get fat and just sit on the beach of the world and drink cocktail and get drunk. No, I don't want that, man. I want to help people. I want to leave a legacy. I want to really help you to know within yourself that you have what it takes, and just you need some guidance, just some skill set that we have, and you want to pull time and experience forward, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the quickest way is to model successful people. Mm-hmm. So that's how you can compress decades into days, literally, right? Because they already done decades of research. They test 100 things and found one thing that worked, right? And then they test another 100 things, found another thing that worked. So in anything, there's only really a few key things that you need to know in any industry, in any success, right? Those 5 to 7 things. So, but it took them freaking 5 to 7 years to figure it out. Well, we want to compress that in and just do those 5, 7 things. And that's how I was able to help these people within months without no experience. I'm talking about truck drivers, stay at home, no experience, absolutely no experience with real estate, to be able to make 6-figure income, working just a few hours a week. So that's why I'm doing what I do, and I appreciate you guys for listening.
Yeah. So here you are, you got out of school, 400K in debt, and you're working your ass off, and they're instead of them like lifting you up and being like, you're great, let's add more money to your pocket, they were saying more responsibility, less support and less people, and higher, KPIs, right? So you're getting buried under that while looking at that student debt and, just trying to make it as a doctor, right? And, like from the outside looking in, someone's like, oh, they're a doctor, they're making tons of money. Tell us about the pressures of doctors and lawyers and professionals, because you help a lot of these professionals figure some money stuff out too. So what was the pressures once you became a doctor and walking around, big baller doctor, right?
Yeah, tremendous pressure. Definitely on the outside, they think you got it all, man. You got the white coat, you got respect, you got everything, right? But every single day it was tremendous because we could not make any mistake. Any mistake will kill somebody. You understand? So it's super important. So and if you make like a serious mistake, they can just fire you. And because all my income was depending on that one source, right? So if something happened like that, all my income is gone. They're not going to take care of my family, right? And who's going to take care of my family? Who's going to take care of me, right? Like I'm going to lose my license, right? And then I worked 8 years to build up, right? And then what am I going to do? Go back to school for another 8 years? I mean, come on, that's ridiculous, right? So that's tremendous pressure. You got to think about that way, right? And that same goes with like, lawyer or any kind of professional status, CPA, right? Just one mistake can lose your license and lose your entire career. Okay. Yeah. And that's just, and I don't want that. Like, why would anybody want that pressure? And then on top of that, I got like hundreds of $1,000s, like $300,000 student loans, right? That I don't know how I could ever pay it off with that kind of income. I was only making like 10K a month. After taxes, more like 7K a month. After student loans is like 4 or 5K a month. And if you're making 4 or 5K a month, that's barely surviving these days, right? Yeah. So, I mean, where's the future? Where's the future? Working 34, I was looking at my doctor 20, 30 years from or pharmacist, all of that, my senior, and they still do the same thing. They have to still skip lunches, no time their family, no time, no dream, no nothing. And it's just existing. That's not the life that we want to live, right? So it's just tremendous. And then the shift was when I become an entrepreneur and leveraging other people's properties is now I have 30-something source of income, right? Because I have 30 like something houses, Airbnb, corporate housing. Now, not just Airbnb, but I do corporate housing, which is a big distinction, by the way. Corporate housing we rent out to companies, so it's a lot more stable, and it's not vacation rental, so it's not seasonal. And we've got better clientele. They stay for months instead of days, right? They take care of the properties instead of partying. And they don't want to lose their job, and we have extended contracts. So that is built in a lot of financial security and also freedom, because if I lose 2 of my source of income, like 2 of the houses burned down, as I speak to you right now, Josh, I still have 95% of my income. You see what I'm saying? So it's super important for you guys to have multiple sources of income, guys. Super important, because that's how you can build the fortress around your empire. right? So that way you can have the life and you know that you'll be secure, your family will be secure. And the other thing, you got to learn how to leverage instead of just work trading time for money, trading life for money, you guys. That's the worst trade. The dumbest trade ever is when you trade your life for money. Well, that's exactly what we do when we, we go to work for some, for corporate America, whatever, and say, my time is worth $60 an hour, $100 an hour, whatever it is, $10 an hour, right? No, man, you worth way more than that. So you want to create value to the marketplace. Your income is in direct proportion to the value that you create to the marketplace. That's it. So you got to know how to leverage so you can create more value, right? We leverage other people's properties with us, leverage other people's time, like expertise, like all the contractor, plumber, all those people, they love me, right? Because I give them jobs, right? I never have to do any of that. I don't want to do any of that. They can do much better. I pay them better, take care of your people, always overpay your people. That's one of my secrets. Overpay, take care of them because they will take care of you back, right? And then just build it up from there, and you roll your profit back into your business. The beautiful thing about my business, it does not cost a lot of money to get started. Like, you don't have to buy, like a restaurant, $400,000. I've done that before too. Don't ever do that, guys. Okay, here's a hint. Okay, or like you don't want to have to like buy a flip. Flipping houses. You gotta present hundreds of $1,000s in there, and then you gotta pray that the market will go up. Well, now my flippers guys like crashed. The market crashed because interest rate is so high that people can't even sell their flip, right? With one flip or one thing that you buy, you can do 10 arbitrage. So you just leverage somebody else's property. All you gotta do is rent it, put furniture in it, furnish it, and then sublet it out. That's it. So it's only cost you like $12,000 to set one up. If you buy the furniture, if you rent the furniture, it's only cost you $6,000, and then you're making $2,000 a month right away. So within 3 months, you make your money back. If you rent the furniture, within 6 months, you make your money back. So within a year, you either double or quadruple your money. That's why it's super important to know this concept, because this is how I got the financial freedom fast. I don't want slow money, man. I want to get there fast. I don't want to be retired when I'm 60, man. I will retire when I'm 30, which is exactly what happened, right? So it's about why, because leverage is your number one key to success. You got to understand that. And mentorship, leverage, same thing, it's tying with leverage. You got to have the mentor, and you got to have a peer group. Who you hang out with, right? Who's your mastermind? Who's your group? So that's why we create a community, so that we can all help each other and grow and learn and go to the next level together.
Yeah. So 3 a.m. Thank you for sharing that. 3 a.m. You're at the hospital. Mom's getting ready to get rolled in to have some brain cancer removed. And you said that was your breaking point because you're worried about the next day showing up to work. And you're like, I've had it. I've had it. I've had enough. Is that when you started the journey looking for other types of business models? Is that the day?
Yeah, well, I actually started the journey since I was 10 years old. Yeah, so I try all kind of business. I was like selling like pixie sticks and everything like that at school, right? Because yeah, that's really was the day when I saw that I must take care of my parents, right?
Yeah.
So fast forward, I done all kind of stuff, man. Like I had Italian Ice when I was 18 years old. I joined like multi-level marketing when I was 19. I did all kind of businesses that I could through college, all of that, right? But anyway, because we were so on that dream that, oh, I must get that degree, I must get that doctorate, so that's why, that's when I kind of stopped my entrepreneur. Well, not stop, but I kind of do it on the side. But it's really hard when you go through like pharmacy or medical school, because it's like a 60 hours a week, thing. So it was really hard to do that. So anyway, and then once I graduated, I was like, once I really see that it's not really the path, then I really focus, and like I must make it happen, right? So life happened for you, not to you, right? So
Yeah.
guys, believe, just write that down, guys. That one thing will change your life, okay? So all of these things, my mom and all of that, everything is happened for you, not to you. Because if it wasn't for that pressure, if it wasn't for all the rock bottom that I felt, all the frustration, all the burnout, all the stuff, I would be too comfortable. I wouldn't push myself. I wouldn't Like I must make this happen, you know. When I can't, that's when I must make it happen. So when I must, I will figure out a way. We will figure out a way, guys. We all have it in us. You know, when we determine, we will figure out the freaking way. So that's when I found out about this, and I latched on to this idea of leveraging other people's properties because it doesn't require me a lot of money or time. So that's when I'm able to explode.
When, like, how did you stumble upon arbitraging, right? Like you looked up and you're like, I don't have much money, I don't have much time, I got to figure out this thing called arbitrage. So explain like how you came across arbitrage and applied that business model, because people do arbitrage in different things, but explain the deal of arbitrage for this and how did you figure that out?
Yeah, great question. So I was in that like investing in real estate. I bought some houses to rent out longer term, right? And then I switched that. Then I found out about Airbnb, like vacation rental. So like that's a lot of money. I went to Hawaii, paid like $6,000 back then for a week. Like, man, that's a business. So I did some vacation rental on there. But then I was like, man, I know the goal is to have like 10 houses, right? I did the math, right? 10 houses, maybe 20 houses. That's how I can make 10K, 20K a month, something like that, right? And then I can get my freedom. But the thing is, man, how do I buy 10 houses? How do I have the capital to buy 10 houses? You know, it's hard enough for me just to buy one, right?
Mhm.
So even at pharmacist level, right? It would at this rate, it's gonna take me like 3 years to save up to buy another one. So at this rate, it's gonna be like 20, 30 years down the road before I even have 10 houses and retire, right? That's a problem. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a corporate slave for the next 20, 30 years. Do you? Right?
Mhm.
So that's when I did the right thing is I went to all the seminars. Okay. I hired a one-on-one coach costing like 10K. Back then to me was like everything, like a lot of money. But it's funny, I didn't blink when we invested 300K in school, but when I talk about 10K to hire a personal coach, I was like, shit, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. But that's my mindset. But I you know, I make it a live of faith. And this guy, this mentor was all about mindset. He's not even doing anything real estate. It's all about mindset. But because of him, I thank God for him because with all the mindset, then I go and take seminars. I mean, I've been taking seminars online, personal growth since I was like freaking 18, 19. So it's like 17 years now. But I went to all the seminars about real estate because that's what I want to do, right? I went to actually all kinds of stuff. I tried crypto to stocks trading. Or I did trading for a couple years too. Didn't do anything. Like it's not worth it. But anyway, so I finally found somebody. I met somebody at the seminar, right? So all of these things lead to that. Okay, so I want you guys to understand that you got to invest into yourself. You got to work on yourself, work on your self development, and you got to put yourself in proximity is power. You got to put yourself in the seminars. You got to put yourself in the workshop. Put yourself in the growth, factor. So that way you can meet the right people that will give you one idea can change your life forever, which is exactly what happened. I was at a multi-family seminar, not even like anything with Airbnb. I met this lady who to this day I owe my gratitude, my debt to, because she told me about this idea. I was like, genius. How come I never thought about this? I'm a doctor, I'm an MBA. I never even think about this. I could just arbitrage somebody else's property, leverage their property. I don't even have to own it. Here's the crazy thing. Does Airbnb own any properties, guys? No, right? Does Uber own any cars?
No.
No. And aren't they like the biggest company in the world, right? So
Yeah.
why do we even need to own anything? No, right?
Yeah.
It's not. You don't want to own everything. You want to control everything.
Yeah.
As long as you can control it, man, it doesn't matter who own it. The person who own the yacht, they got to clean it, maintain it, all that, blah, 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 right? But if you can just control it, or if we have a friend have a yacht, we just go in there, have a party, and then leave, peace, right? So it's about leverage, leverage relationship. I'm kidding, but you know what I'm saying.
I
So
do.
that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, a boat stands for break out another thousand, and if it's if it's a yacht, it's break out another 100,000. But
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is never buy a boat, just have a friend with a boat.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
um, you know, the way you're talking, you've invested a crazy amount in terms of coaching and seminars and communities and masterminds. From people looking outside in, they look at it and they go, this is hype, it's this or that, because they might have done one
mhm,
and it didn't prove results for them, whether they didn't execute or the product wasn't good or whatever the case may be, right?
right.
You've committed to go all in on these
Yes,
and pay a lot for coaches and for
yes.
proximity and mastermind and such like that. What kept you going back? Because I'm sure the first one you went to wasn't this like
Great
brilliant thing
question.
that you walked away a billionaire, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, no, great question, man. Man, you're asking that. This is one of my favorite interview, man. It's great questions right here.
Thank you.
So yes, so, like I invested over $1 million in my lifetime into myself, into the seminars, of course. And people call me crazy all the time, right? When I was 22, I bought a $20,000 on a bunch of credit cards, right? That
I've
I
done
didn't even
that.
have, right? And it was all about real estate. So I learned about everything. I went to all the seminars about storage units, about multifamily, about all the things, right? And I wasn't ready to really do it. My mindset was had issues, right?
Yeah.
So I had to borrow money from my mom to pay off all those credit cards. Not good, right? But I didn't give up. That's the most important thing, guys. I did not give up. Okay, I know that I'm gonna make it happen no matter what. So then I went to buy all this stuff. I trying to figure out a way. I traded crypto. I traded forex. You know, wasted 2 years of my life working 15 hours. But what I didn't waste that. I've learned a few things from here and there.
Sure.
But anyway, basically the bottom line is I did not give up. Right. And then all it takes is just when you are ready. Right time, right place, right people. Right. That's the three most important thing that you need to figure out. Right. Maybe it's not the right timing. Maybe it's not the right place. Maybe it's not the right people. But when you keep on trying, one day you will hit that sweet spot and then it's explode, right?
Yeah.
So because I kept continuing, I didn't give up because I keep paying for the seminars. I keep paying for all of that, right? So I paid like that 25K for that multifamily seminars thing. But that's when I met somebody that gave me an idea that made me millions that not even relate to that seminar, right? Doesn't have anything to do with that. But now it's full circle coming back together. Now I'm working on a 396 unit deal that we're closing in December here, right? That will give investors some amazing return, and then we can incorporate this corporate housing into it and actually make millions from it, right? So it's coming full circle, and
Yeah.
now I'm helping other people with for my mentorship, my seminars, my coaching, and all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the bottom line is never ever give up. Always work on yourself. Always keep on going. Hey, listen, guys, if you have son or daughter, if they fell down when the first time they're trying to walk, do you say, hey, give up, son, give up,
Uh,
daughter, don't try to walk no more. Just give up. But that's the same thing that we do with us when we grow up, right? We just, oh my God, we tried one course, didn't work. Oh, we tried like 3 courses. We tried 3 mentors, it didn't work. How many times do you tell your son, daughter, how many times do they try so that they're trying to walk, right? Do you stop telling them that keep on trying, son, at the number 100 times, the number 1,000 times? Do you actually stop telling that, or after like 5 times? Most people give up after 5 to 10 tries. So, hey, son, never walk. You're never gonna walk. Stop trying. You failed out 5 times.
yeah. No
That's
way.
makes sense. Yeah.
I love your energy, man.
Oh, thanks, man.
I'm sorry to have to do this, but like when I hear something, man, I got to go back and capture the moment that this happened because there's so much gold and wisdom to bring from pain and from tough times. Your goal, I made a promise. He put his hand on the Bible. I swear, I promise I'm going to take care of mom and dad financially, right? So you made it a life mission. You went to school, racked up the debts, and gone through all these courses and gone through these programs. Like your life's mission was to help mom and dad, right? Like you'll do more for someone that you love than you'll do for yourself. I agree. But then there came to a time where the cards wouldn't swipe anymore and you had to go to mom, the person who you've devoted your life to,
Yeah.
helping financially. And now you got to go borrow money from her, who's burning her hands at the dry cleaners, who's crippling herself to work for you. Talk to us about that, Dave. I'm sorry to bring that up, but I think there's something valuable there.
Thank you for bringing that up. Actually, yeah, it was like the worst day of my life. Maybe I should share that story
Yeah, please do.
because I remember that vividly. Like, damn, I was like, Mom, I did not make it. I'm sorry. All my promises was I just couldn't fulfill them. So I'm sorry. Like I am. I mean, she's the one that gave me. She the one that gave me the money. Actually, I didn't ask for it. I was trying to figure out myself, but I do remember the day that she like take a bunch of cash in her cabinets or something that she hide she it was, hidden spot, and then she gave it to me, and I just remember feeling like crap, man. I'm like, damn it, I can't believe that I promised her all this, and now a grown man in my like early 20s still have to take money from my mom to repay my debt, right?
I get it.
So it's definitely one of the worst day in my life.
How did
Um,
how did you so you took the cash, you had to go, to the bank and they sent the money off and you said goodbye to that money. Like how did you sometimes after getting kicked in the nuts like that, that's a tough one, right? The person who you're trying to serve, you have to ask them for help. And like it feels like it's going backwards. How did you move forward from that? Day one after that, like you probably didn't sleep well at night, I assume, right?
mm.
Maybe ate too much, drank too much, or just like passed out, whatever. But like day one after that, what did that look like?
Well, yeah, I believe it definitely it was a struggle, guys. It wasn't like, yeah, it probably, because it wasn't like, it took me like years after that until I actually finally made it, you know. So it's not like, yeah, I want to say like the next day I'm like fucking rock star, I'm gonna blow it up, I'm gonna didn't give up. But no, man, I was depressed for a while, and then um I was just trying to figure it out as a young boy,
Mhm.
um, trying to just figure everything out, right? But just somehow deep down, I know that I meant to do something big. I meant to make a bigger impact. I know that I wasn't born to just be small, you know.
Mhm.
Um, I know that I was to impact millions of people. I always know that, and I know I can that I can make it happen. Okay. Now it's a constant battle, right? There's a lot of fear and doubt too. It's not like, yeah. I mean, it's all about mindset. So I definitely, life going up and down in like this.
Yeah.
But once, man, just don't give up, guys. Basically, just keep going. Um, keep putting all the puzzle together, like connecting the dots, like Steve Jobs said. Put all the puzzle together. For me, it's more like a puzzle. You put it piece and piece at one time, right? But at some point, you're gonna get that whole puzzle put together, right? Like that whole airplane put together, and that's when you can fly, right? Because if you're missing any parts of that airplane, you're not gonna fly. You're not gonna fly high. You're not gonna go to where you want to go. But keep on at it, put it in all together, and once it is, then you're gonna take off, baby, right?
Mm.
And it's gonna take so much energy because it's like the airplane. It's 80% of all the energy, all the fuel, or not 80 to 90% is in the takeoff, right? That's the most important part. But once you take off, to maintain it doesn't take much at all. So just
That's
keep
awesome.
going, buddy.
80% of the fuel is used on the launch, right?
Yes.
And that's where most fails happen because people run out of gas, they run out of steam, they run out of the motivation, they run out of the why, right? Like the 7 levels of why. Um, you've got interesting clothing choice. your
Yeah.
sports coat's amazing. You also have you have some jewelry and some symbolism that I
Yeah.
see on bracelets and necklaces. If you had a yeah, if you picked, I'm a professional speaker and I'm screwing this up. If you picked one piece of jewelry that means something to you as symbolism, which one would you want to talk about today on the show?
Oh, absolutely. I love all of this, right? So, but just real quick, I definitely want to talk about one of them, but just real quick, I want to give some credit to. So this is Tony Robbins'
Cool.
prosperity chain. This is
Yeah.
the I don't 10x as well. It's very important, 10x mindset. But the most important thing is definitely the cross,
Why
right?
is that important to you?
Because I am a Christian. I grew up Buddhist, and at 19 I received Christ, and my life has never been the same ever since. Okay, so all my suicidal thoughts, all of that was before that, right? But then I faced a lot of struggle, but I never had like suicidal thoughts, or because I found the purpose, I found the truth, I found the way, and we have the manual. It's called the Bible of how to do this, right? Right, and it's so funny because all the stuff that I learned from all the great multi-billionaires is all traced back to what the Bible teach, right? So, so that is super super important, the most important, because once you lose that faith, man, you lose everything else. So that's why this would definitely the most important, because he definitely saved a wretch like I was, right? Um, and yeah, I'm just very very grateful for everything I have now. I'm grateful to connect with you guys. And if there's anything I can do for you guys, definitely pass on the torch to the next generation. Yes. Thank you.
Dr. Chau, you're awesome. Thank you for sharing your story there. Um, man, so cool. For people who want to connect with you, learn about what you're doing and how it could apply to their life, what's a good place for people to connect with you and do a deal?
Yes, absolutely. So you can scan this barcode here to book a call with one of our top advisor, and then go from there and see if there's some synergy in what we do and what you do, and go from there. So we have a few things going on, right? And we want to follow me at Dr. Chau B&B, so DrChau B&B, right? So whether it's Airbnb, corporate housing that you guys want to do, we can do. We have done for you. We have done with you models. We also have like multifamily investment opportunities. If you are an accredited investor, right, then we'd love to work with you on that. And then we're doing something huge with Grant Cardone that's coming up, that that I will review. So just stay tuned within the next couple of weeks. But it is the biggest, one of the biggest, probably the biggest in the history of business, as far as the size, the scope of this. And this will change your life, because, oh, by the way, the recession is here. I don't know, but I want to break the news to you that the recession is already here, guys. You want to be able to prepare. And the most important thing is you want to have the mindset for that. And that's why Grant, I partnered with Grant to do like in January, we're gonna throw down uh, you know, a business system that's unbreakable, call it unbreakable. Okay, so that way you can be unbreakable. So that way you can be prepared for this recession, to take advantage of it and to help other people along the way, because this is the greatest opportunity. Recession is not negative, guys. The greatest opportunity to create millionaires, to create heroes.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you can be the heroes. Because there's a Chinese saying, in chaos, create heroes.
Mm.
You know, heroes are only created through chaos. Because without chaos, why do we need a hero?
Mhm.
Right? So why don't you can be the hero of your family? You can be the hero of your community, hero of your nation, through this chaos that's about is unleashing right now.
That's cool.
So just be prepared, get ready, and follow me. I will help you.
What question during this interview should I have asked, but I like completely screwed up. You're like, Josh, you should have asked me this.
That's
What,
okay.
what question should I have asked you?
Well, first of all, everybody give Josh a hand, man. He's this is one of my best interview ever, really.
Thanks.
He asked the right question, really pay attention and really dig deeper. And thank you so much for the great questions. I learned a lot about myself today too. Um, I mean, what other questions out there, man? You really hit an amazing time. I want to ask you a question now.
Yeah,
Like,
please go for it.
so to you, what are like three keys to success for you?
Yeah. That's a great question. I think belief systems are that has to be number one, right? For me, it's my belief in God, right? If I understand who my heavenly Father is and my belief system is strong there, then other things start to fall in place. So number one is belief system in God, right? If you believe that this world is, it's going to end or whatever the case may be, if you believe that you're on your own, if you don't believe in the after, whatever, if your belief system is faulty, it will affect your actions, right? So belief system's number one. Two is your identity, your personal identity. Like you talked about being a king. If you're beating the shit out of yourself every single day, going, you're worthless, you're a failure, this or that, then you're going to act that way. So your belief is going to affect your actions. So is your identity. If you show up and you're going, I'm a king, I'm here for a purpose, I'm going to help people, I'm on a mission, then you're going to show up and your actions are going to prove it. So belief systems, your personal identity, and then who are your people that you're serving and that you're surrounding yourself with, that you're learning from. So that community, personal relationships are everything. I've gone bankrupt. I've been on food stamps and I've worked in venture capital and private equity and I've been there. And I'll tell you, not like having people that love and care for you and that will give you an extra box of ramen if you need it is vital. And the people that when you have an extra box of ramen, you could give to them. So those are the three things. Everything else, the tactics of business, the deal, all that stuff comes secondary to those. That's what I think.
That is amazing. Gems, golden gems right there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks, bro.
thank you.
Yeah. Well, I love you and
Too.
we're going to chat in a few minutes, but fellow deal makers, as always, reach out to our guests and say thanks for being on the show. All their contact information will be in the show notes. If you have difficulty connecting with someone, just send me a message and I'll connect the dots. That's the purpose and mission of the show, is to connect great people with great people and to do some deals together as we learn and grow and support the community together. If you have a deal or you'd like to share your story and your journey on this show, go to thedealscout.com, fill out a quick form, and maybe we'll get you on the show next. Love you guys, and we'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye, everybody.